He's whiny.
Yeah, like he sounds like such a bitch.
End up taking ketamine lozenges type beat, you know.
How was that actually?
So it turns out those are really. So I've gone on at length about not liking ketamine, but as it turns out, if you get like the pharmaceutical grade, like you know, very well controlled ketamine, it's a significantly different experience because it was incredibly stable. I didn't feel like you know how like if you do some normal ketamine, like one line, two lines, no two lines are the same. And like sometimes you do one, you're like, oh, this is cool. Sometimes you do one, you're like, I just K-holed out of nowhere. What the fuck? Right? This one is like incredibly predictable. Like it lasted like 30 minutes, like pretty much on the T. And you know, they're uniform sized and uniformly dosed. It was like, I was like, oh, we're just chilling. Like I get, this is like what I imagine other people experience like ketamine. Me, this is the first time I'm like, all right, I see the appeal here. It's like, it's kind of cozy pilled. You know, I can't get out of my seat. This is probably what people who smoke weed feel like, I guess, but like without the, you know, without the fucking schizophrenia.
The downsides.
Yeah, just like what people who smoke indica are like, oh yeah, just chill out and have a conversation. Like it was like that. I was like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah, because my one experience with ketamine was not something that I would feel, you know, I wasn't like, yeah, this is like a casual thing that I would do. I was like, wow, like we are in a fucking black hole.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's what everyone says. They're like, yeah, dude, no, it's like, you don't get it. It's ketamine is like 8 drugs in one, dude. It's just like how much you want. And I was like, I guess,
yeah,
dude, but I'm not going to sit here and like dose dependently test like ketamine for like a whole week to figure, you know, like I understand when I'm going to do weird shit like this, it's going to be like, I'm going to be injecting Botox in my Achilles tendon to see if it, you know, like that's what I'm going to be testing myself on.
I found out that here there's a lot of like therapy, like clinics for ketamine. So finding like the, you know, like the very like clinical versions of it is easy. You know, there's like people who like will come and, you know, give you the IV or like give you like the predetermined dosage or the spray, or it's like a thing here apparently.
That's really weird. Is it like legal?
I think it's like in the gray area. I don't know how they get away with it, but I think they have like a fake doctor
ketamine, because I know it's legal in Bali, right? Like you can.
Yeah, I don't think it's legal, but I think it's legal if you have some kind of prescription. So they have like a fake doctor give you the prescription. I don't know. It's one of those type of things.
They're a real doctor, I'm sure.
Oh, they're a real doctor, but
I'm sure they have a degree, bro.
It's a fake appointment. Sorry.
Yeah.
And there's like, oh yeah, we need the, but it's like on site though. It's like you're not going to an office. It's like you go to the place, they give you the prescription, and then you go in type of thing. From what I hear, but don't quote me on that. I don't know the deal. I didn't go into the place, but this is the information I seem to be getting.
Somebody was showing me a study that said like, oh, you can take up to 0.5 grams of ketamine a day and it won't start like BTFOing your bladder or something like that.
It does make peeing weird. I thought I was crazy.
No, apparently you can get like severe bladder damage.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, because anytime I take it in, I've always just like, I just like fucking stumbled over my whole sentence. Whenever I've taken it, I've gone to like take a piss, and I'm always just like, this is like not working correctly. Like it's working obviously, but it's like something's off, and I don't know what it is. And I'm very in tune with my sensations, and I was like, something's going wrong here.
No, there's definitely some drugs that give you. COVID was definitely one that made peeing weird for me too.
Really? Would it smell like battery acid? What's going on?
Yeah. No, it was definitely like that. There was some sort of a smell like industrial clean, and it wasn't. Everyone says, "Oh, like ammonia." No, it was like it was.
It always smells like ammonia. You fuck.
It was some
like a drop kick them.
Like it
smells like ammonia. Shut up.
Like if you had asked me what it smells like, it would have been like I never would have identified it as urine or any biological product. I would have been like, this had to have come from like a factory. Like my body has become some sort of like it's producing like a turbo Windex or something, right? Like
nice.
It's just so fucking weird. And I don't know. There's other asparagus, obviously.
Asparagus, of course. If you ever eat for me, if I eat what is it, cinnamon toast crunch, or like
that was a
toast.
rough one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. My T levels are down.
You sure? You didn't give up on the ketamine lozenges yesterday?
Yeah, right. I'm fucking doing gibberish. Like, Anyway, so cinnamon toast crunch or like French toast crunch or whatever it's called. Afterwards, it makes my piss smell like I don't know, like a sugar cube. And that always makes me feel like I'm definitely having some kind of diabetic reaction. Like my body's like, you just ate unbelievable amounts of sugar, and now your piss smells like like butterscotch. So I think that's probably not good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is it
like old man butterscotch?
Where like, what was the meme about? Like, if you eat like a bunch of mangoes or pineapples or whatever, your semen tastes sweet. Like, is it?
Yeah, pineapples.
Is it the same with your pee? Like, does your pee start smelling like mangoes at some? Because like I've been known to have my mango binges, right?
Oh, that is real. No, yeah, it'll definitely change your pee taste. Not that I know, but I do know
your pee
that
taste.
Well, smell is taste, so that's why I'm conflating the two.
Okay.
Yeah, your smell, like the sugar gets in your whatever because your body's cleaning it out. Also, coffee, that'll make your piss smell like coffee, and if you don't, as a frequent coffee drinker, everyone knows that. It's like it smells like you just like poured a pot of black coffee like after a couple cups. It's disgusting.
I haven't ever had. I haven't been drinking coffee. I've been doing actually like the most disgusting.
You're drinking Miro or like Celsius.
Health. Yeah, I've been drinking Mio Energy, and it's those spray bottles are like teardrop shaped. You like pour it into water, and it turns the water into like some sort of like a flavored energy drink. It's got all sorts of fucking artificial sweeteners, acetylsulfine potassium. I think it's got sucralose. It doesn't seem to have. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have the main big one, whose name I'm spacing on because I'm so fried. I'm so mentally fried.
All right, so I have to go on energy drink discourse. As a person who is a stimulant fan in general, I'm a fan of two in particular. I like Red Bulls. I will drink Red. I think they taste delicious. That chemical taste is very appealing to me. They also have the taurine. I'm a big fan. All the Zoomers and everyone likes the Monsters. I think Monsters are disgusting. It's like a fucking what's the word? It's like a kidney stone in a can. I don't need all that. And then I also am a big fan of the Bang drinks, and I don't like the flavors of Bang that taste like something. I like the flavors of Bang that are like fireworks surprise or unicorn blast. Like I want it to be entirely like synthetic.
So, this is something that I've been wondering forever, right? When you go and you look up like what is the best energy drink, everybody has their preferences. Nobody tells you what they're based on. I've been trying to figure out for years if people prefer different energy drinks because they make them feel better or because it's just purely a taste thing.
So they definitely feel different. And they also taste different. So Monster, I think if people like Monster, it's because of the taste. Because it's like filled with sugar, and it's like real sugar, and they're like big flavors, and the whole thing is kind of centered around that. People tend to like Bang because there's no calories in it. It's the part that fucks me up with Bang is that the flavor's so bold, and you pour it out, and it's a clear liquid. It looks like water. So I'm like, how the fuck did you do that?
What makes you feel the best?
Red Bull makes me feel the best. I don't really. Okay. It's also like one of the first ones on the market. Bang is the second one. Bang gets me like almost too jittery because it's not only is it like all the standard stuff that's in an energy drink is also filled with creatine. There's like 300 milligrams of creatine in it, so it gets me fucking like jacked. So a lot of the CrossFit people like it because it's like a pre-workout. At the same,
does creatine actually have like it gets you amped up?
Yeah, it like increases your energy and shit like that. I mean, like it's slightly noticeable in the immediate. But it's very noticeable if you do it regularly. Like you're
because like I've obviously taken it for like lifting stuff, and I've noticed that like I can eke out like 1 or 2 reps after like a couple weeks of taking creatine. I never do it long term because it always increases like my subcutaneous water retention to the extent that I'm like, wow, I am an ugly fucker now, dude. Like it makes my skin look so much thicker.
Yes, it definitely does that too.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I'm hit. And people will say like, oh, like. It only causes intracellular or intramuscular water retention, bro. Like it doesn't. There's no way. But it's just like look in the mirror, dude. It clearly it clearly fucks people up, right? It's the same thing with like all the steroid guys saying like, I'm not retaining water, bro. Like I'm treating myself with an AI, and then you see them and their face is like a perfect circle. Like,
yeah,
like they'll be like retaining more water than anyone within
like Sam Sulek.
100 pounds of their weight class has ever been.
It looked like Sam Sulek with the tremboloni sandwiches.
Yeah, dude.
I love Sam Sulek though. That dude's the fucking greatest. He's the Zoomer Ziz, bro. You ever watch his videos?
I've seen enough of the clips of people commenting on.
He's so. Something about him is just very charismatic because you could tell he's roided out of his fucking mind.
I can recognize that exact same. It's the all of the fucking. So like the college athletes would usually take reasonable doses of steroids, and then like the guys who would hang out with them in the gym, but not do any athletics, would take like turbo giga doses, and they would just always be fucking out of breath.
He's always out of breath. He's constantly out of breath.
They always look so fucking tired,
and his face is like red as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say their skin is like red and blotchy. Like it's always that sort of like patchy tone that it has, instead of being, just a normal homogeneous skin color. It's all weird and splashy, and the splashiness will also change. That's the funny thing. They have like a weird like chameleon sense to themselves, where they'll start lifting, and then their body will change their blood flow distribution, and you'll get to see like all of these shimmery, splotchy patterns that go across.
Yeah, that's definitely him. He's just out of breath constantly. Now, granted, he allegedly does the videos after he works out, but I'm just like, he just constantly just seems like he's dying. He's like 21, but he's fucking massive, and he has an impressive physique. I give him that, but it's like, you're not making it past 45, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this is gonna be short lived. Or he's a Ziz and he dies in like 5 years. God forbid. But
like Ziz didn't really give a shit about like lifting, right?
No, like, he just was all aesthetic.
Yeah, like that was the thing, is he like he was very open about like, I don't even like this shit. Like I do this
to look good, yeah.
Right. I do this to be a sick cunt who slays pussy, bro.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Rest in peace, Ziz.
Which is really funny, because there's a lot of a lot of the right-wing bodybuilding sphere has become very pro Ziz, obviously, but it's weird because they don't understand that his philosophy was very utilitarian towards lifting, very pragmatic, and they'll all go out and say like, I love this, bro, and it's like like he was always just like, this shit.
He's just trying to get pussy.
Yeah, this shit kind of sucks. Like, I don't actually enjoy this, right? Like, it's just something that you got to do.
You got to do it. Get in the gym. But that's what people like. People like when people are like, when people are just like, I just fucking got to do it. It's mandatory.
I wish more people would be real about that, right? Because like the only people who actually like lifting really are ones who I think haven't ever seriously played a sport. Because like when you're talking about like like endorphin release, any sort of like actual enjoyment, like going out and doing any sort of one-on-one, either like combat sport, like boxing, tennis, really fucking anything that's one-on-one, is just 1 billion times more rewarding than going and lifting. And lifting is like, it's not like it's just evil or it sucks or something.
It's just kind of boring.
Right. Like if you were going to tell me that like, nothing happens after this, like you're not, like there's no benefit to either one. You're doing it purely for enjoyment. I'm going to pick sporting events over lifting 100% of the time. And the only reason that I continue to lift is because if I don't, I will start not looking as cool. Right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I literally only lift just to not be a fat fuck. I don't really, it's kind of, and also like when I'm in a relationship, I'm far more prone to want to lift because of the aggression that women make me feel. But single, I'm like, I mean, it's entirely just so I don't look like a fat fuck. But in the relationship, oh my God, it's so, when your girl's just pissing you off, you're just like, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym. There's nothing better than that. Dude, than like anger.
I think I've talked like hundreds of times by now about how like when I was in high school, my senior year, I started lifting. That was the first year that I had ever lifted in my life. I started because like during the summer after my junior year, I went and I did an internship. There was a professor who he gave me some spiel about how you have such great like muscle insertions. It was totally blowing smoke up my ass.
He's trying to get you to join the swingers club.
He just wanted.
he was trying to get you to swim with him.
I think he just wanted to get a bunch of the kids out here to start lifting. But because this was interesting actually. So this was at I don't know how much I want to dox here, but this was at a very good engineering technical institute, and his project that he was trying to get people to work on over the summer with him was he was trying to design it was effectively a gym accessory that had like an interesting twist to it, right?
Nice.
I can't because he has gone to market with it by now, and so it would probably be like a full docs on that one if you got in contact with the guy, but yeah, so basically he wanted people to help him with this, and he wanted to build up his little cadre of young gym goers, and so I started lifting then. And what the fuck was I even talking? What were we talking about?
You were saying something about fuck. You were with Professor. You started lifting in senior year. The point of that was because of girls pissing you off while you're lifting.
Right. There we go. So I started lifting that year, and I had a girlfriend that year, and I almost destroyed like multiple relationships because I would text them from the gym, and I would go into like full like just like psychopathic autist mode, right? Like they would text me something, and I would just respond with like the most unnecessary bullshit ever. Like they would be like sad about something, and I would just be like, fuck you, I don't care about your feelings. Like,
nice.
Just something like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I had to make a rule, just like don't text them in the gym. Like you can't send any responses. Don't even look at the things that they're sending to you.
Yeah, my rule was don't text until after the gym. Well, just in general, because like once you get that energy and that aggression out, you're like, especially when you were younger too, when you're like testosterone's like peaking. Once you got to get that out. You gotta find a way to get that out.
It wasn't even that like that was a state that I could never enter unless I was in the gym. Like it wasn't like I was getting the energy out. It was like being in the gym turned me into some sort of like bizarre LARPer person that I never would have been under any other circumstance.
I see. For me, typically it's like I'm a naturally kind of ornery person, especially during the day. I'm just like increasingly getting more and more frustrated with everyone around me. And I need to release that. And once I release that, I'm good. And then I don't take it out on my girl. That's I like to lift at night. I'm also that's also my thing because of this exact reason. I have to get out the frustrations of the day. I'm never motivated in the morning, but it's the rage that fills me.
Lifting in the morning also is definitely like your nervous system 100% has like an amount of time it requires to like boot up every day, right? Like I think the reason, well, This is getting way too speculative, and I again have no idea what the fuck
I'm okay with it. Let's speculate.
Let's
go deep.
I think a lot of the reason your cortisol is like elevated in the morning is to help like obviously wake you up, but like spin your systems up, right? Like you need to start like allocating resources again to like your body, the parts that move because they've been just chilling for the last like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And like anyone who's ever gone and started lifting right when they wake up and then compared their lifts to what they do if they were to lift instead at like midnight has realized that like you're probably about 5 to 10% weaker overall if you lift right in the morning, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know what exactly it is, but like the only explanation that I have is that your nervous system is not capable of recruiting all your muscle fibers at the same time, right? So like when you flex a muscle, your brain is sending an electrical impulse to your nerves, which are then like making your muscles flex and contract. And the way that you the way that you can gain strength without actually increasing the amount of muscle you have is basically by training your central nervous system to get better at firing muscle tissues, right? So if you train your body to fire off more of your arm muscles when you're like, let's say you're fucking curling or something, right? Then you can curl more even without increasing the amount of muscle you have, right? So like,
yes,
that's the only thing that I think can be really going on if you're talking about a difference between like lifting in the morning and lifting at night, because like the amount of muscle that you have in morning versus the night
is the same.
It's the same. So like the only difference, and maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe it matters in the sense that like you have a different level of nutrient partitioning or like your glycogen stores go somewhere else when you're sleeping, but I don't think so. Yeah. So anyway, my speculation basically is that I think your nervous system needs to spin up in the morning. And
that sounds plausible because for me, half the reason I don't want to do it in the morning is because I'm just like, my body's just like, what the fuck are you doing? We were sleeping 10 minutes ago. I just can't
I'm literally uncoordinated also. Like, it's dangerous to the extent that like if I were to try and do what I can do later in the day, there's a very good chance that I will like like people talk about like the stabilizer muscle meme, right? But like if I lift in the morning, there's a good chance that like I'll just like drop the shit because I like lose balance or something. It's really
absolutely
bizarre.
Yeah, no, I used to have to lift in the morning for swimming, and from experience, I am 10 times better at night. We had swimming practices, especially during like closer to meets and stuff. We do 2-a-days, and the morning practices, I'm just fucking like, I barely can do shit. My like performance is trash. And then we would do nighttime practice every single day, regardless, at like 8 p.m. And I'm always just like, oh yeah, this is great. And ever since then, I was like, all right, I'm just a nighttime lifter. It's just not going to work for me to do it in the morning. I'm not even motivated. I want to drink coffee for 2 hours. I got like I gotta read my blogs and my manga. I have none. There's no fucking lifting happening before 2 hours of boot up time.
Well, and the other thing is that I'm an idiot, right? Like I genuinely, after lifting for anywhere from like 1 to 3 hours, I am really dumb. Like,
yeah,
I'm really
that's also
stupid,
true.
man.
I don't give a fuck. Not only that, I also just don't have the motivation to do. Like, what am I going to go to work after that? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to give a fuck about anything.
I used to always, and this was so funny. There was a period where I would try and lift before work, and that wasn't good. You come into your morning meetings and you're just like, like you're more awake than everyone else is, certainly, but you're still a retard. You're a huge fucking retard. And,
absolutely.
Then I tried lifting after lunch, and then it was like that was the absolute worst, right? Because then you deal with the compounding sluggishness of you've just eaten lunch and now also you've lifted. So like for the rest of the day,
you're like
just
falling asleep.
Yeah, you're just like a huge sluggish retard. Doing it before bed is like the only time that makes sense ever, really.
Yeah, before bed. In school, we used to have weightlifting class, and I would have it before lunch, and that was kind of okay, because obviously you just gotta eat right afterwards. But like, I was also like 16, so my energy levels.
Right. I mean, when you're
were
16, it doesn't fucking matter. Really.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like
but as an
now
adult,
that we're all like old, dying men, you have to start thinking about things like at what point in the day do you exercise, right?
Yeah. And, for me, like not even right after work. 'Cause what I used to do when I was most prolific, like 8, 9 p.m. Was good, because I would come home from work and then I would like either take a nap or something, and then I would go work out, and then I would come back and eat dinner, and then I had like, it takes like 3 hours for me after I work out to like fall asleep. So right around midnight, 1 a.m., I'd be like, okay, we're good. I can't do it like right before bed because I will be up too late.
So this is another interesting thing, actually, that I've been thinking about. I think like reflexivity like that is, like the Ray Peat disciples like to talk about how having a high metabolism is the marker of the mark of a healthy organism. I think that like being really reflexive and really responsive to whatever situation you're in is the actual mark of it, right? So I think that if you go and you lift and then you're amped up and you're unable to sleep for like 6 hours, I think that's a sign of unhealth. I think that, and now I'm saying this as someone who like, that this also impacts, right?
Uh-huh.
But I found that when I do things that make me healthier, the time between me lifting and me being able to go to sleep goes down, right?
Yes, I agree with
become
that.
much more readily able to go from like the amped up, like we're going to work hard state to like, okay, just I'm lying on a bed and sleeping state. And I think you can measure this also like in terms of, heart rate variance is another metric that basically measures this exact thing. It measures what the variance between your heartbeats is, and the higher it is, the better it is.
Mm-hmm.
In that you're basically
More
wanting
efficiency.
to optimize for like a very steady, constant heartbeat that changes slowly and gradually is bad. And that is like a heart attack, right? Like the time in your life, the time in any human's life, in a human organism's life, when its heartbeat is most regular is during a heart attack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Extremely, extremely consistent, same pattern over and over and over and over again. Variety is actually what you want. Because, even during this conversation, right? Like we'll be saying things, we'll be more or less interested in one half of the sentence versus the rest. That will have like a response. You'll either get more or less excited based on that. you can tell even like listening to this podcast, you can tell when like my heart rate is ramping up. I'm getting excited about what I'm talking about. I'm getting really into it versus like when I'm just sort of like,
variability. That makes sense.
Yeah. So like the ability to state change quickly is the measurement of like a well-calibrated organism. And this is why I don't really buy into like the whole Ray Peat thing about like, and it's when I say the whole Ray Peat thing, right? Like, I don't think Ray Peat himself ever says this. It's usually like he said something that got misconstrued by someone who like read one of his journals or newsletters. Because like Ray Peat isn't actually like a huge retard. He has a little bit of
little kooky sometimes, but
some of his followers I think might have some interesting ideas, but usually,
but you can't judge people by their followers. Every genius has a fucking idiot follower or 1,000.
Well, the other thing is that he never did like community curation, right? Like this, it's not like he's not like Bronze Age pervert or someone who actively has like a community that he interacts with of people on like a public forum where he had like an ability to say like, no, you're being a retard, or no, this one's true and right, and you're a genius, or stuff like that, right? Like it was mostly. He would just write stuff or publish, and then he would like talk to people privately,
or go on the radio or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a very different dynamic than most like public cult figures, I guess. But the whole meme about like you need to have a 103 degree temperature while you're sleeping. Like, I don't know, dude. I think that's a little retarded. Like, I think that
sounds dumb.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Also, I don't see why. I mean, I don't know what my temperature is while I sleep anyway, so I can't even like comment on this. But I do know. I mean, like when I imagine your body temperature goes up because that's when your metabolism is like working overtime. But I don't fucking know anything about that.
When
my sleep hygiene is trash though. So
when you're sleeping, I think your body temperature usually goes down when you're sleeping. I'm not.
Oh, okay. That makes. Yeah, I mean, I know that like you sleep better in a colder room, which is why I always put the temperature down like a couple degrees, and like makes you fall asleep basically instantly.
Yeah,
because your body's like respond like this, like a natural reflex to like when we're allegedly out in whatever the world. You want to sleep at night where the temperature goes down, and then like your body wakes up when the temperature rises for the sun. So you can kind of artificially do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know like the heat from your extremities goes to your center. But that's all I know.
I had sort of a funny tweet the other day. This was like I was talking with somebody basically, and I mentioned that my veins got smaller due to the vasoconstriction of like consuming like 40 servings of like Mio energy per day. And we were talking about like, where does your blood go in the sense of systemic vasoconstriction? And I posted it, and I got a lot of interesting. I got a lot of interesting replies from people. Right, probably 50% of the replies were just people saying it goes to your penis, dude. That's the only the only expansion chamber in your entire body. It's your penis. It all goes to your penis. Some people correctly identified that a lot more of it hangs out in your veins, basically actively. Because normally your veins aren't necessarily like full, I guess, right?
Yeah, they're like kind of semi.
Yeah, they're like flaccid a lot of the time, I guess you could say.
Yeah, a little flaccid vein.
Yeah. There's some people though who just said, "Oh, your blood pressure just goes up," which was
that's like, are you dumb?
I mean, it does a little, but it's
the question becomes,
you're saying, that one was really funny because it's like, okay, there's like a given amount of like uncompressible fluid in your body, and you're thinking that like, like the level of that would be a big pressure spike, right? If we were explaining it all through your blood pressure just goes up.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna do like the Bernoulli's.
Well, the question becomes like if
this would go, but
yeah,
like that would be like this is like you're gonna be like instantly exploding your heart if it's.
Well, here's the question:
all being explained by pressure increase.
I mean, when they say like your vasoconstriction happens, if it's only like I don't know exactly what percentage, but maybe like 10-15%, it probably doesn't require blood moving anywhere. I don't know how full your veins are. I mean, they're semi full. Right, but there's probably enough pressure.
Like your arteries, I don't think are going to change much in terms of what's going on there, just because they are always pressurized enough that they're always like they're usually pretty close to maxed out.
Yes.
But your veins, on the other hand, though, are very
other direction.
That can be very variable.
Interesting.
I don't know though. I thought that was interesting because that's one of those things that like there's clearly like 10 different places or explanations for what happens to
Mine
the blood.
goes to my nips for sure.
Really?
That's the only yeah. When my blood pressure goes up, nips get erect. Has to be. It's like hitting your
not
knee
just
with
when
a
your blood
mallet.
pressure goes up. What happens when you're you get vasoconstricted when you're like cold or something?
Nips go hard.
Me. Oh, okay. Well,
That's what I'm saying. Nips get hard. Your all the extra blood goes right to your nipples.
I can't believe I fell into such like a meme explanation. This is like I'm gonna kill myself, man. I cannot believe I walked like I feel like the dad out there gardening and like there was a rake on the ground and I like stepped on the rake and the fucking handle of it just like flipped up and hit me in the forehead. Like total loss,
dude.
right? I just walked straight into a completely closed glass door.
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
No, it does not. Thanks for coping, though. Thanks for helping me cope.
I got you, bro. How much time do we have?
I guess like an hour and 30 minutes or something.
Oh, this is good.
We could probably let's see. I think
we'll record again. I need you to come back to the Americas so that our time tables are on the same thing again.
It's never gonna happen.
You just fucking fly in the coop.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna. Well, you know what I have to do actually.
The thing is, you're in the cool European country. Like all the other ones suck for the most part.
I know that's
you're in the best one, and that's why I never want to leave. When I'm there, I didn't want to leave either.
All of like the Mediterranean countries are like objectively like more fun places to visit than
way more fun, dude.
You know, Poland or Slovenia or some shit like that.
I did hear that. What is it? Prague's in Czech Republic. I heard Czech is cool, but that's it. I've only heard that. The only consistent praise I hear
Austria is not bad.
Austria, I have heard is I used to work with Austrians, so I do know they said it's fun. But the only consistent countries I hear praised: Spain, Italy, Portugal, and Czech Republic, and then sometimes Austria.
But you know why I'm here, right?
No, I don't. Oh, for work, yeah, but that's about it.
But yeah, you know, there's been a little bit of a shift of where the personnel are kept, where the herd is, right? The oxen herd.
Are you just staying there forever? Is that your new location?
I mean, I don't want to say forever, but here's another funny thing. Here's another bit of alpha. I've already tossed this out, and I guess like my friend Tech and you should get me a job
and
my Discord and stuff,
so that I can move to Spain.
I think you could move to Spain without the job at Ox.
I know, but I know I could, but it's a lot more.
It's more fitting, right? And you know, like the cool thing with Spain is it's bull country, right? So the price is going fucking up, dude. You're moving to the land of the bulls. There's no way we don't get a massive green candle here, and the market would just love to see it, wouldn't it? So are you familiar with like OUSD?
Not really, but I can imagine what it is by the name. But share it with the crowd.
I will. So it's effectively open exchanges on exchange stablecoin. Now it's not technically like there would be some if I were to say it's open exchanges on exchange stablecoin in front of the open exchange product team, there would be a lot of well, technically, but and especially because now I think it's sitting at like 80 cents or some shit like that. Basically. The issue right now isn't that it doesn't work. It's basically that the markets have been so stagnant that there have been no liquidations. There's been no market movement, which are like prerequisites for it to work, right? And because it's just been like a volume issue. So then we did have after that there was a large market movement, right, that caused a bunch of liquidations both ways, and these liquidations, when somebody gets liquidated, then it's not just that their negative balance goes and gets liquidated just through the accrual of interest. But if they get liquidated in any way, like say through the price going the opposite direction of them betting on it, those assets get market sold into USDT, which gets redeemed from the protocol, right? So then the protocol stores all of the USDT that it has actually. So it built up like several hundred of thousands of dollars of USDT from this big market move. And what that allowed too, aside from like resetting the peg back at $1, it allowed people who had gained credit by trading enough volume on the exchange to go and redeem from the redemption fund that unlocks every Sunday. which this was the thing that I didn't understand. I didn't understand that the USDT that the protocol saves goes into a redemption fund that lets people take out. So you can basically go in and redeem 1 OUSD for 1 USDT. So in the same way that when it hits on the top, you can arb that difference. If the OUSD price is 80 cents and you have redemption fund allocation, you can go and you can buy like a bunch of OUSD and trade it at 80 cents for a USDT at 100 cents and make like an instant 25% profit.
Okay. Pretty solid.
Right. So that made me realize, oh fuck, if I'm trading on the exchange in any capacity, I should just be like holding OUSD and waiting for this free margin, or maybe even buying OUSD, because then you can buy and stake it. I might be a retard. Maybe this is a horrible idea. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but basically, what I took from all of this was effectively that if I want to bet on this working and I want to bet on there being upcoming liquidations in the market, I should be buying OUSD and hoping every week that I get enough redemption fund allocation that I can arb like $5,000, right? And just get a nice 15% on however many thousands of dollars every week.
That sounds like a good deal. Especially if it continues at the very least.
It worked for the first week. I'm not sure.
I thought you would have a little longer. I guess it just started.
Yeah, like I haven't been trying this out for too long, but yeah.
Hey, we'll see. We'll report back.
I'm destroying the alpha, right, by telling, because if anyone else tries to,
no one listen.
Then
actually, we'll try to do it, but we don't have enough listeners that are going to.
By destroying the alpha, I'm also getting the peg. I'm getting OUSD closer to peg, which is technically, what the employers want, right?
Yeah, you got to get the volume up. Let's make it more stable, more reliable.
Yeah, the system actually seems to be very robust, especially once you deal with because right now a large amount of the collateral is an open exchange token, but every day it progresses, more and more and more of the collateral is being made up by things that aren't open exchange token. So it's like, if crypto as a whole goes to zero, then yeah, it might explode. But if all of the backing is from like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, it doesn't matter what happens to open exchange token. OUSD is not going to be like massively heavily impacted once everything gets like up and running.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm with you.
This is like this was why Luna had like a bit of a unique vulnerability in that like it was backed by one asset. So manipulating the price of one asset
is a lot easier, yeah, especially if you have big enemies.
Yeah. Whereas like manipulating the market cap of crypto as a whole is a lot more difficult and probably wouldn't be something that somebody would do to break.
You probably couldn't do it anyway. Even now, it's too big.
I don't ever want to say you couldn't do it about any sort of crypto, manipulation, because clearly it all can be done. It's just a matter of, do the people with the capital who actually do it care enough about the amount that they would make from doing it?
Yeah, good point. We don't want to. What's the word? We don't want to.
I do not want to invite anyone to try and break all of the cryptocurrency systems, because 100%, like if George Soros just wakes up tomorrow and he says,
he can fuck
instead of making profit today, I have decided that I will destroy cryptocurrency. Like he totally could, right? Like he could. Yeah, he could fucking Darth Maul every market in the world, send us to zero, send us to infinity, send us back to zero. Like
that's a good point. All right, so ostensibly it's safe enough. Pragmatic, in a pragmatic sense, it's safe.
And I also don't even want to say that. I want to say basically that like I feel comfortable enough that what is going to happen is I'm going to make
financial advice.
A 15 to 20% arbitrage, and not that it is going to go to zero. It might totally go to zero. I don't think it will. But like I can't legally say that it won't, and it seems like it probably won't.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It's fun though. That's the other thing, is it's fun. Anytime you get like any sort of a new weird fucking system like this, it's fun to play with. And just like the knowledge that every Sunday the redemption fund unlocks, but also not knowing how much is in the redemption fund from like how much got accumulated via liquidations. Like it makes it this whole big thing of mystery, right? Which is always fun too, because then people are speculating on how much am I supposed to be holding, and like trying to back calculate what like market movements looked like and how much like volume was going on in the exchange. I've been having fun with it. Maybe
It
you
sounds
won't have
legit.
fun with it.
I mean, I have fun with all kinds of things. So I like to play with new systems. I'm a gen.
Right, like
We'll
I'm
see what's up.
definitely. It seems like there's like a couple categories of people in crypto, and it's basically like it can be broken down very easily towards like, do you like new things or do you think new things are gay, and you only like the thing that like you came in with, right?
Yeah, I like new things. I'm very much a. I think I said this to someone today. I'm a surfing around. I'm a little.
I'm
bit
a novelty maxi, bro.
I was just about to say the word novelty maxi. That's exactly what I wrote to them.
Yeah.
Whatever's new. I want to see what's on the forefront.
Because you saw this with friend tech too, where there's a bunch of people who just like they just fucking hate it, dude. And like before they could even rationalize or articulate why they hated it, they made it very clear to everyone, like, I fucking hate this. I hate this shit, man.
Yeah.
And I instantly loved it without knowing anything about it, right? Just because it was new. I was like, wow, fuck, a new thing. And like I still don't have like any sort of like a rational, logical support for friend tech as an app. It's basically just like, oh, new thing, dude. Like I'm just like soy jacking at it.
Yeah. So to close, because I'm fading on my screen right now, and it's making me want to vomit. So I have to say it. As I'm obliged to say this. Altina posted this image from a account called Legendary Milk Dairy, spelled dairy like a cow, and it reads, and there's a picture of this. Breast tissue can extend into the armpit, and it has a special name, the tail of Spence. During engorgement or at the beginning of lactation, you may notice lumps and swelling on your armpits. So effectively, there's a picture here of someone milking their armpits, and there's like titty milk coming out, and it's
really
one of the it's one of the grossest things I've ever seen. Kind of. It's not too. I mean, it's.
Would you drink the armpit titty milk?
It depends on who had it. Like if it was Emrata, for sure. If it was like an average person, I'd probably vomit.
I see you're sending me a link to this.
Yeah, the armpit titty milk is it's fucking me up that this is on my screen on the first thing I see on Twitter. So
we're loading. Oh, is Altina private? Or did she?
Oh, she private. Yeah, I'll send you the actual image then. But yeah, it's disgusting, and I just want you guys to think about that this is a possibility in the world that you can.
Well, I think more so than just thinking about like, oh, this is a possibility. You should think about where the line is for you personally as a man. You know, how attractive would they have to be to get you to drink this stuff?
You definitely need to be at least. There's a secondary picture where they grew like full breast tissue. Oh, that's interesting.
See, I guess the issue is that like breast milk coming out of the armpit kind of looks like pus, but once you get over the fact that it's not pus and it's actually breast milk, I think it stops being like that much of an issue for me.
I mean, if any of my ex-girlfriends started growing armpit breast milk, I'd probably drink it just on principle. So I guess that's my threshold. If I'd be willing to date you, I'd probably drink your armpit milk.
Yeah, I still have to flesh out the category of like people who I would date, I guess, better. That makes sense. But you know, there's probably a mood where you start you know, straying outside of that category, right?
Oh,
like
of course.
You probably get into a mood, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a tremboloni sandwich, and I might do it from a random woman on the street too. Who knows?
Yeah, you take the yayo pine pollen, and
oh yeah, dude,
and it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whose breast tissue has expanded into their armpit. Like they could be a fucking like 400-pound like behemoth with like, you know, totally shaved head. Like you're still gonna drink this stuff.
The milk,
dude. We should actually stick the yayo pine pollen link somehow in. We should start.
Actually,
we should start doing like. We should start doing ridiculous shills for yayo pine pollen and like you know, talking about like the, you know, like Mohs hardness scale, right? Like it goes from like 1 to 10, from like talc to diamond, where like diamond being like the hardest substance.
Oh, you're talking about for your dick?
Post consumption of yayo pine pollen, we've finally discovered level 11. World's hardest subject. My penis is an absolute. There's nothing that can.
It's
even
a two-message gourd.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely. Shimmering like a fucking like,
because obviously, you know, I'm friends with Ramelia, I'm friends with Yayo, and of course we're going to be doing a little shilling for Yayo.
You got to do a little cross-platform shilling. I'm a fan. All right,
and we've got it on the voicecel site, which we forgot to talk about also.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. I guess
never talked about voicecel.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is fucked up because you just said we've got to go. But I mean, now, do you still have to go?
I still have to go, but we can brief. I mean, for those, some people, you know how many people have during permissionless had done the voicecel and didn't know it was us? Also, people on crypto Twitter who didn't know it was us.
We actually are probably like really retarded for not putting a Verse and Lucas podcast intern production somewhere
at the top
on those results, right? Like we literally got like that actually was probably our like takeoff moment if we had just like stuck 5 words in.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they hit it at the bottom because no one's going to go down that far. But yeah, on the results actual pop up, it should have definitely said Verse and Lucas podcast.
Yeah, we should have forced everybody to like billboard for our podcast everywhere instead of like that
would have been genius.
Because the only way that you could see is in like the Q&A section or when you click on the Twitter.
It was like 5 mil impressions or higher.
Well, like the website hits 2 or multiple millions. The fucking, the tweet itself was like 2.5 million. Like
I saw Destiny doing it on his stream. Like a huge ass streamers were doing it.
I know. And if we had just had the name of our podcast in there, we literally would have gotten more exposure doing that one thing than probably anything else we will ever do.
But here's the thing though. To some degree, now this is cope, but I'm gonna accept this cope. We are gatekeeping those people who are too shitty to just scroll down to the bottom of the page.
This is massive.
Yes.
This is cope beyond any other cope I've ever.
So we have only the brightest minds who've determined to find the source of the meme.
But we're coping for our audience here, right?
Yes,
you guys the cope isn't just for us. This cope is for you, the listeners, as well. We're talking about how great you are.
Yeah, how marshmallow test passers. You guys are certified marshmallow test passers. So that's good. Next time we do one, we will, however, shill it and make sure it's very clear that we're shilling it. But this time was just for
I mean, that is the other thing is like we're going to go viral basically every like 1 or 2 months just by virtue of us being us.
Yeah.
So like we may have fumbled this one, but we'll
next time we got it.
Next time we'll capitalize a little better.
Absolutely. It'll be even bigger and bolder this next time.
I can't fucking believe we didn't put.
Bro, I can't believe that, and also that we didn't save the audio and just sold it to an AI company.
That would have actually been a big pain in the ass, though.
It would have been a pain for servers and stuff.
Selling data actually isn't that lucrative of a model anymore. Like this is something that I've been talking about for a while. I guess is like the total democratization of information is going towards.
True.
Like it used to be that you could form like a Discord basically and get everyone to sign away their rights to all the things that they type and write and whatever, and you could sell everyone's information and make a lot of money off of it. But there are now so many people that have been collecting so much information that like the amount that people are willing to pay for access to these databases is going down and down and down. Yeah. And there are actually free databases circulating where you can get basically like everything that like you might need. And as time goes on, the amount of money that you can extract from this shit is getting really fucking low. So this is again my cope to say maybe it didn't fucking matter. Maybe it never mattered that we were to save it all with voice.
All things are happening the way they should. It
was just so funny that we advertised voicecel.com and we didn't advertise our podcast, which is like it's like why did we separate the two entities?
Because it was very spur of the moment.
It was very spur of the moment, right? But
going forward, we will make sure that all things are integrated as they ought to be.
I wanted it to be so obnoxiously branded. Like I wanted you to feel like a searing pain in your eyes because of how many multicolor like neon.
I feel like at the top of the page, all we needed was the banner like that we have in the retard shop, and that would have been enough.
Yeah. We should have just. Okay. God, I mean the raccoons look good too. Like people
love the raccoons, man. And now that DALL-E 3 is about to come out, we're gonna have the most. We're gonna push the limits of technology to make the most badass neon raccoons ever.
Wouldn't it be funny if DALL-E 3 is just like exactly the same thing, except it doesn't let us do neon raccoons?
Yeah, right.
That's the one change that Sam Altman made was he like specifically like he did the voice cell test. He got like he got like 350 hertz. It called him a bitch. He looked up. He went through the Q&A. He's one of the 5 people who scrolled all the way down to the Q&A. He looked and saw, Verse and Lucas. What are these guys about? And he said, it looks like they use my technology to generate a lot of these neon raccoons. And then he just like nuked every fucking prompt. Right?
I bet too.
Yeah, like if we ever try and prompt like neon raccoons,
we're only 1 degree of separation away from him. He probably did take it.
He probably did, yeah.
Yeah. We're on multiple vectors. We're only 1 degree of separation from Sam Altman. So
it would be super funny also if Like what I bet like Sam Altman, like what if he took it, he didn't like his results and he asked like GPT like 4.5, like is my voice really gay? Like be honest with me, dude. Like, do I sound like a woman?
And then like he gets the fucking he gets the woke answer to his own question.
Right.
Like, fuck. Well, using the term gay is very derogatory
I
too.
technically can't tell you whether or not you sound like a woman because a woman can be defined in many ways, such as, and then it gets like a fucking like 20-point bullet list.
He's like, fuck, whose idea was this? That's awesome. Okay, I gotta go because I'm fucking dead. But we will record soon.
Okie doke. We'll put some more out. By the way, did you put out the Milady episode?
No.
Okay. So we'll toss it up on
though.
YouTube and all of the other shit. I've given you just like the audio for it in the drive, right?
Yeah, I need the video part of it.
Okay. Didn't that get loaded onto Telegram or nah?
It did. Oh, I think it didn't go all the way because I tried to look for it earlier and it didn't work.
Beautiful. Okay.
When he gets older, he won't sound like this anymore, right?